Welcome to the Champions Corner. Yep, this is a Safari za Mabingwa, and you can get to Sabika na Mabingwa. How and what am I saying? Probably you're wondering. Yes, this is a brand new show that's going to be airing on 5 different TV stations and 5 different digital stations or media stations as well. And the purpose of this show is to celebrate champions from the Olympics to the Paralympics. All of them, we are sitting down on this corner and we are giving them their flowers. They're doing amazing things for the society. They're doing amazing things for the country. And it's about time someone sits down and gets to celebrate them. So Daka Mamili has partnered with Team Kenya, and that is what we are about. And of course, your host with the most, Obinna, is in the building. And the first person that I'm interviewing on this amazing platform, when amekuja kutubariki, it's known as Bungei. Ni Wilfred ama Wilfred?
Wilfred.
Wilfred.
Yes.
Unaitwa Willy?
Well, actually, I'm just called Wilfred. Actually, do I get people who call me Willy?
Hakuna nickname?
Hakuna nickname.
Willy? Hakuna?
Unfortunately, the only nickname that I have, is the captain.
The captain?
You know, I was the Team Kenya captain for 2008 Olympics.
Ah.
So that is what the only nickname that I've had in my life, I would say so.
Alrighty. So, captain.
Yes.
Karibu.
Thank you so much.
Karibu. Naona umevaa kama Walker Texas Ranger.
Well, I think, I'm the only Kenyan athlete for a very long time that was known as, the cowboy. The reason why is that, I love the cowboys. I love the cowboy stuff.
Okay.
Boots, apparels, belts, everything, to do with the cowboys. I think that is the one thing that I was known for a very long time when I was in the field of athletics.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this has a name? Yaju.
Of course, this is just a denim half jacket, leather jacket. I got it in Texas. Yeah.
Like Texas moja?
Absolutely, yes. I got it from Texas.
Ah!
Yes.
For real?
For real, yeah.
Zile belt buckle kubwa?
Yeah, I think most people, they used to identify, especially when I was in the field of athletics, they used to identify me once they see someone arriving from the airport, with Stetson hat, with boots, with belt. They would know that is Wilfred Bungei.
That's Wilfred.
That is the only thing that I was known for in the field of athletics. Again, you see, the difference is that, us athletes, we are most of the time, we are always known just to run and nothing to do with fashion. And for me,
true.
I was fortunate to live in Italy for so many years. And as you know, Italians with the fashion, they are the best.
Really?
Yeah.
Wameshinda wa Nigeria?
Well, they can't.
Abego.
I would say this. I don't think that there is anyone who beat Italians when it comes to fashion, for sure.
Huh.
Yeah. You need to find out.
I need to. Yeah. I need to do my homework on that part, because I thought maybe I was thinking Nigerians want to pick a look at South Africans. Could I need to travel?
Absolutely.
So yeah. Italians dress like this?
Well, no, Texas, but of course, I say that I live in Italy for so long, where you get a lot of, to be able to choose what kind of fashion would you like to be known for that case, yeah.
Well, uvangi zile tracksuit, because most Kenyan athletes pull up tracksuit.
Actually, that is something very interesting, and I'm happy that you're asking me that question.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I can tell you that from the time that I finished athletics, hardly would you find Wilfred Bungei on tracksuit or training shoes, because for me, those were uniform that I was always in it for about 15 years. And therefore, when I was done with athletics, I realized that why should I still be? Even when it is a sports day, I don't like, because it's just like being let's say, the guys in uniform. The discipline forces, somebody wears their uniform. When they retire, they don't want to be in the same thing. And for me, I don't want anything to do with sport, because when I close my chapter in athletics, I said, I'm done with it.
Okay, that's interesting. So just in case you have no idea who Wilfred Bungei is, he's a champion. And the highlights of the conversation we're going to be having on this platform tonight: number one, he walked away from $1 million shillings deal, because it's a couple of $1,000 US. So if you convert it, a couple of million, let's say billion.
Millions.
It's millions. Walked away from a deal like that on the table. He's like, no, it's tacky. He had an alcohol problem, but now he's been sober for 12 good years. How did he get into it? How did he get out of it? So maybe you are also in a similar situation. You'll get to know that one as well. He's run for office twice. na akashindwa, akasema mimi sana politics. Also we need to find out that one. And also while he was the captain of the team Kenya, we need to find out what are the lessons that he learned and what are the things that can be done differently. But before I get into all that whole shebang, let's start from the beginning. Born and raised, ulizaliwa wapi?
I was born in Kabirisang, that is in Nandi County.
Okay.
Back almost 50 years ago.
Okay.
Because I know you would look at me and you're like, how old are you, Wilfred? For us men, we don't fear to say how old we are.
Yes.
But approaching 5th floor.
50?
Yeah, approaching 50. That's what I would say.
So 48?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I would say is that, I was born 48 years ago.
Okay.
In Kabirisang. I was raised there. I was fortunate again. I went to school in Kabirisang. Was able to go to Samoei Secondary School. That is where I discovered my talent. And Obinna, I was one of the few Kenyan athletes who were fortunate to represent the country while they were in high school. That is back in 1998. I was able to represent the country. And that is how I developed my career.
Okay.
Yeah.
1998, you were in high school and you're already running.
Yeah, absolutely. I was running and I was able to represent the country because for me, I happen to have come from a family of athletes. First and foremost, my first cousin, who is Wilson Kiketeri, was running 800 meters. However, he changed and ran for Denmark. The late Henry Rono was my uncle as well.
Okay.
So I was fortunate to come from a family of runners. So it became easier for me transitioning, to athletics, especially when I was in high school, because that was the only thing that I would see it was going to change my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So you finished, did you finish high school?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I finished high school. Of course, that is a good question because actually I think especially during my time, most people, they were asking me, Wilfred, you seem different in terms of academic and all that.
Yeah.
For me, I was fortunate because I had people who advised me that, Wilfred, there is importance of you continuing with your education because there is life after athletics.
True.
And therefore, I finished high school, I ran, and at the same time, I was able to pursue my university degree when I was running.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You did a degree?
Absolutely, yeah.
On what?
Sports management.
Ulikuwa na ujanja. Ulikuwa umeona huko. Most athletes, when they are performing so well, education kidogo inasemanga.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, how many people would consider, for example, and say, why should I continue in education while I'm making a lot of money?
True.
But you have got to remember that there is life after athletics.
True.
Obinna, most athletes, they retire at what age? At around, I would say, late 20s, early 30s. So what would you do if you don't pursue your education?
True.
Yeah, and that's exactly, and even that is what I encourage most athletes. Of course, we are fortunate currently now, compared to our years, most of the current athletes, they are still continuing with education and making sure that at least they know that they have life after athletics.
True.
Yeah.
During your time, it was a bit complicated. Kupata mtu kidogo, right now things are, watu wanafunguka macho as well.
Yeah.
So you did this and you still did your education and you're still breaking records. Why did you decide to continue with the education though? Because you're making money, right?
Well, education was very important because one, with education you are able to know how to be able to invest. Remember that, we have this big story in the field of athletics, and I know most of your viewers have understood or have heard the story of an athlete, what that we call coming from rags to riches to rags again.
Yeah.
Why this happened, that they go back to rags, is because of lack of education.
Yeah.
I would say lack of how to invest money.
Okay.
And therefore, for me, I was looking at a bigger picture whereby how would I be able to further my life immediately after athletics? What would I be able to do with my life at the age of 30? When you retire, because I retired at the age of 28. That is still very young. And therefore, I saw that it was important that I pursue my education. And it's actually, one thing that I normally do currently, whereby I visit different schools, sports academies, and tell the sportsmen and women that education will be very important for you after you retire.
True. But now I know you're reaping the benefits of the education. It's what has put you where you are now. Cindy?
Absolutely, yes. I would say that, it has brought me to be able to do so many things. I've done commentary, both in and outside the country. Most of the events that is going on in this country, I normally do the commentating part. I'm able to travel around the world doing what you call motivational speaking because I'm a motivational speaker.
Okay.
So education somehow has helped me on this part.
Okay. How long can it take for someone to be a champion? Let's say someone fresh.
It depends.
Okay.
First and foremost, we have some athletes who start their career at a later stage. Those ones, they may take a short time.
Okay.
But for those who are juniors, it takes, I would say, almost 5, even up to 10 years. I can tell you, because, look, I just mentioned that I represented the country the first time in 1998. And it took me 10 years to win Olympics in 2008. So it tells you how long it takes. I mean, who is this that will have to work for so long for them to be able to reap the benefit after 10 years?
True.
So it tells you that it's not as easy as it looks.
Okay. So your category of race was which one?
800 meters.
800 meters.
The one that you have to run 2 laps.
Or it's just 2 laps?
Yeah.
You won it how many times?
Well, I won World Championships in 2006.
Okay.
Won indoors in Moscow.
Moscow.
I won silver in 2001 Edmonton, Canada. I won bronze in Birmingham, UK. Of course, the big one, I won in Olympics Beijing, China in 2008. So that is, I would say, the major one. Of course, we broke the 4x800 meters world record, which is still standing today in Brussels, Belgium.
You guys still holding the record?
We still hold it.
Broke it and mukaiweka hawajai toboa?
No one has beaten, I mean, from 2005 until now should be 19 years. Yeah.
What was the minutes, some seconds?
Should be 7 minutes and 24 seconds.
Hey, 19 years?
Yeah, for 19 years.
Nobody has
tried to break it. Again, remember this, when we were breaking it, then it was held by the British team, which is that consisted Sebastian Coe, Steve Ovett, and the team.
Yeah.
And it had lasted 26 years before we broke it. So it tells you, Obinna, let me tell you, there are some records that has stood for a very long time.
Yeah.
Even if you see Daniel Coman's world record that was broken by the Ethiopian not so long ago, it had stood for more than 20 years. So we have a number of records that stands for a very long time. For example, the record for Rudisha.
Yeah.
David Rudisha.
Yes.
I've seen so many people saying that it can be broken, but I can tell you, for me, I tried it and I could not. The fastest I could do was 142.34, and this guy has done 149. So it tells you that there are some records that is not so easy to be broken.
Okay.
Yeah.
According to you, the countries you've gone to, the ones you've broken the records to, which one is your favorite?
I would say my favorite country was Switzerland and Italy. For one, I would say Switzerland because I had very good races there, and at the same time it was my training place, especially for high altitude. Most athletes, they want training in high altitude, and that's why majority of Kenyan athletes, they train here in Kenya. For me, I was training in Italy and in Switzerland. My second favorite place was Italy, of course, because it was my home. Okay? I want to tell you just a one story that happens in 2008. When I won Olympics in Beijing, Italy celebrated, the whole country. It was there in the De La Gazzetta Sport, which is the biggest sports magazine at that time. And they put the gold medal and they divided into 2, Kenya and Italy, saying half of it is for Kenya, half of it is for Italy. Why? Because my manager was an Italian, my trainer was an Italian, I was living in Italy, so they felt that Wilfred is part and parcel of us. And I felt honored, because they were able to give me honorary citizenship for Italy, for that purpose.
So now you're a citizen for Italy as well?
I have honorary citizenship for Italy. The reason why is because I was there for long. And I think, there is that inspiration that you inspire also other athletes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You lived in Italy for how long?
15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
When you won this and the Italians did this for you, what did Kenya do for you?
They do the usual thing that they normally do for most Kenyans. You are being received in the airport with mursik and all that. Of course, there was no reward. Unfortunately, there was no rewards that is there currently. There is a lot of money that comes with it. During our time, there was none.
So you broke a record Italian celebrity, you put you on the magazine, gave you honorary citizenship and everything. Yeah. Kenya, Mursik, kwa airport.
Yes, absolutely.
Na ukadansiwa, ukapewa ka flower.
Of course, there was flowers, dancing, and all that, you know. And
bye-bye.
Bye-bye, yes.
Tukutane. President didn't call you to the State House or something?
Well, no. I was a team captain, you know. I mean, we were fortunate to be in the State House. We were able to be with everybody else.
Yes.
But that is not enough.
Mukatoka na kakitu?
Absolutely not. There was no money at that time, unfortunately.
Okay, title? The government gives you like a title?
Yes, I received the HSC, Head of State Commendation, by President Mwai Kibaki. Of course, which is something I'm proud of, you know. It means at least there is a recognition.
But how does the HSC title translate to?
Yeah, something in your pocket and something that you can be able to...
does it have financial value?
No, absolutely it doesn't.
Ni kama tu sisi wajaluo kuitwa doctor, engineer.
Yeah, well, of course, it's better when you are being called a doctor, you must have gone to school.
No, kuna title.
Title that you just...
Ya wajaluo ni title. Unajua kabisa mimi ni engineer. Engineer Obinna.
Yeah, like that.
So pia ulipatiwa title, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for making us proud, and that was the only thing that they look at.
Okay.
But of course, this is our country, man. Sometimes, you know what? I will tell you this. For me, it wasn't money that I was looking for. Sometimes it's not all about money.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sometimes.
Yeah. It's not about money. Sometimes it's also about representing your country. Because I will tell you this. I felt so proud to wear Kenyan singlets. Team Kenya singlets when you are running there. And at least the national anthem. For me, I think that was the biggest thing that happened in my life. However, I learned it later on that sometimes maybe money is very important when you can be able to build your career and get something out of it, which we are happy currently right now that at least the current athletes, definitely if somebody wins World Championships, breaks world record, at least they will have something for themselves.
There's a time a friend of mine invited me, he's our Kili. We go jog Ukongong. And I'm Kuja, he's like he's a bit senior than me. So he's like, oh, jogging, what, Tukaenda. Kiliniramba.
Yeah.
Then I found some guys jogging huko. There's a way you guys jog.
Yeah.
You guys run.
Yeah.
Because in a jog ni tunafanya hivyo for the next 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer. They were supposed to do 10 kilometers. Mimi nilifanya 1 kilometer nikala kutembea nikamwambia it's fine. Then your guys show up. There's some guys wakapo tu hapa Ngong.
Yes.
I'm like, guys, it's jogging.
Yeah.
Now na smile. They're like, do you think athletics, they have so much to do with the body size, body mass index? Does it have anything to do with that?
Well, of course, I mean, if you are really too, you have, but it depends. You know, what I normally say is this. So long as you are able to carry your body, you can do anything. I mean, look at Usain Bolt. Nobody used to think that a sprinter as tall as Usain Bolt could be able to run the way he did. But remember, I mean, he was an athlete on his own class for so long when he was there.
True.
So it depends. So long as you can be able to carry your body. And that is why when I encourage people to run, I ask someone, don't look at your body. Just, do you have the will? Do you have the determination? Do you have the discipline for you to be able to achieve what you want? If you have those 3 things, nothing will stop you.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Okay. How many countries have you gone to so far? Traveled to? Kwanza.
Well, I think what I would just put it is that I lost count. But it is in excess of 70, 80 countries that I've been able to travel to during my time of athletics.
70, 80
Yeah,
countries?
but I can assure you that, you know, every continent in this world I have traveled to. Many countries in Europe, in Asia, in Australia, every other. Most
passport umebadilisha mara ngapi basi?
I think around 5-6 times.
Oh, 52 pages. Ama ilikuwa kale kadogo?
Well, I think it was 45 and 32.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be 45 pages and 32. And
Rubber
I can tell you
stamp
that,
too.
Rubber stamp, you know, you feel it, you come back again, you feel
In,
it,
out.
just like that,
Okay. How do you feel when you get to some places and some people don't recognize there's a champion amongst us?
Well, I think that happens only in Kenya. You know, that hardly, you know, I mean, somebody will walk in and they may not be. But when you are out there, you know, most likely they would be able to understand. I think there is this notion that, and most people they are talking about it, that, you know, Kenyan athletes, when they arrive here, they disappear into the village, you know, they are not recognizable and all that. And I think as a country, we have taken our athletes for granted. You hear so many, I mean, I remember the first time it was Paul Tergat and Moses Tanui. You know, they were invited all the way to White House. okay, to meet the president then. I don't remember who was the president at that time. And they were invited there. So it tells you the magnitude of respect that the Kenyan athletes earn out there compared, for example, to here in Kenya. However, we don't mind. We don't need to be recognized, especially for me.
In the countries that you've gone to as an athlete and also just as an individual, even after athletics, apart from Italy, lineup, which one was your favorite?
I would say this. The difference is everything happens when you are still very young. Okay. What you call the culture shock. Because I remember the first time when I was traveling and you are just in the flight there, and you see, then the way people would dress, you would go to some places. For me, I had not quite remember this. I was born in Kabersang, born to school to Kabersang, went to Samuel Secondary School, which was also in Nandi. You have not gone outside anywhere, man. And then
you're not fashion.
Hey. You see fashion, man. You land EV and you are like, where am I, Yeah, exactly. That is it. That is what I didn't want to say that. Yeah, but again, you try to learn. Yeah. I can tell it was one of those shocks. And then number two, the worst thing that happened actually was food. Remember that, we were only used to ugali, mursik, mboga, nyama, that's all. Now here you have spaghetti, you have got some whatever food that you can get. Yeah. And I remember, some of my fellow athletes, we will have food like this, and then wanakoroga, wanatoa hii sikuli. So before you know it, the plate is nothing. Ametoa hii, amesema hii sikuli, hii ni nini, sikuli. Because you would get those corn, immature corn, and unapangiwa hapa. So the first thing is like, hii ni nini? Kwetu tunaita msogoro. So unasema, wani nitakula msogoro iwe chakula.
By the way, in salads, yeah. they put them msogoro. To baby msogoro.
Yes, those ones. So you look at it and you're like, no, we don't eat this in
asparagus,
asparagus, yeah, exactly, yes. Vijiti. Unawekea hapo, unaona salmon, this is a pink nyama, how do I eat it? Yeah, so you have a culture shock, but of course when you learn and you realize that, okay, these are food that you can be able to eat. For example, you go to Asia, they are doing a lot of seafood. The first thing with Leswa, the way they put it, these are snails, and you're like, ugo kwetu atukuli, it's not for us.
Umaikula nyoka.
I've eaten everything. Obinna, don't ask me about what I've eaten because somebody else will be like, yeah, sure.
Because umesema Asia because ile nyoka, unajua China wasema nyoka.
Hata mbwa utakula tu. I mean, don't ask. Let me tell you something.
Makapanya.
In fact, what I normally tell fellow athletes when they travel, don't ask for food because remember this: you are going to compete. You may arrive there 2-3 days before the competition.
Yeah.
And you choose that you want ugali. Where would you get ugali? I mean, I am aware that most athletes, those who are staying in London, they have to go with unga from here. Fortunately for us in Italy, we had polenta, which is unga for ugali. So we could be able to go and buy. But in some countries, you don't get. Now, if you travel to Asia and there is no ugali, and you are going to compete, if you don't eat those food, do you think you will compete, Obinna? You can't, right? Yeah, so what happened? So the best thing to do, when you go there, eat anything that is
ikiwekwa nayo.
Wacha kuchakwa ama wacha kuuliza.
But usiulize. Usha realize if you eat something bad, yes, and you don't know, yes, it will not affect you.
No, it won't.
Then ukama umejua kula churo kula.
Unaanza kutapika.
Sasa by the athletes mmesikia captain amesema abana uliza pita nayo.
Yes.
Aya. Now let's switch the story a little bit. You're doing so well, you are leading. You got a deal for $600,000 US. Ukasema utaki na ukawacha kukimbia. A lot of people will ask this question that I want to ask you. What the hell is wrong with you?
Let me tell you.
What happened? Why?
Obinna, let me tell you something, and I think especially for your viewers. For me, when I won the Olympics in 2008, because this story is in 2008.
Yes.
I had worked hard for 10 years. First, I went to Olympics in Athens, being the favorite to win, and I was not able to. which is something that happens to some athletes. You know, you go to a competition, you feel so good, you know that you are winning, but I finished 5th. Now, in 2008, I went there, I was ranked number 12 in the world. In 2004, I was number 1, 203, 202, 203, and 204.
Okay.
I was ranked number 1. When I arrived in Athens, because of the pressure and everything, I lost the race. Now, in 2008, I didn't have any pressure, but I went ahead and win the Olympics. Now, when I won, I realized that, Wilfred, what are you still looking for? If I have to look again for another medal, which it has to be bigger than Olympics, and it can only be another Olympics, because Olympics is the top. Any sportsman and woman will tell you that if you go to the Olympics, forget about even winning.
Yeah.
Participating alone is the most important.
It's already a major achievement
compared to World Championships.
Yeah.
So when I was looking at my life and I'm like, I have to aim again, maybe 2012, it was none. And let me tell you something. Immediately I won, I went to a press conference and I announced my retirement. When I got out, I just met my agent, and the first thing that he said is that, Wilfred, what am I seeing? You have announced your retirement. Are you mad? And I asked him why. He said, you know what? I've already negotiated a good contract with you, with Adidas, which will give you 150,000 per year for 4 years, okay, to 2012, which was 600,000 USD. And you're announcing retirement. There is no way you can do that. You know what I told him? His name was Johnny de Madonna. I told him, Johnny, money is not everything for me. But number 2, everything that I've been aiming to achieve in my life was to win Olympics, or at least to get a medal. I don't need anything else. Of course, I mean, it was, I wouldn't call it a bad decision. I had made a decision and I saw that it was the best thing for me to do.
Okay.
Because, look, would I have a chance with David Rudisha in 2012? There was no chance for me to win anything.
Yeah.
So it didn't make any sense for me. However, you know, I mean, I know this is something that most athletes, and they have been asked this question, Wilfred, why did you announce your retirement at the top?
Yeah.
Most of us, you know, we push ourselves, even when there's no power anymore, you still want to run. Let me tell you 2 things that will happen. First and foremost, you will lose your name, okay? Because the moment the only thing that you are known is being a champion. When you are being pitted to be number 5, number whatever position it is, you are no longer a champion. Even when you get out there, nobody cares about you. And I can tell you that I learned that it was better for me that I retired, because I was able to have my life to pursue other careers or other things, and even being able to be invited, because you are still remaining the only athlete who retired immediately after winning. Yeah, it doesn't happen. So I don't think that many people will tell you, most of the Kenyan athletes, none retires immediately after winning championships.
Yeah, so yours basically, it was a thing for live while at the top.
Absolutely.
A good dancer knows when to leave the stage.
Yes.
So ulikuwa umeogopa hutawahi win tena.
And actually, you know, you have put in a very nice way. We have a saying in Kalenjin,
yeah,
that if you are the person, a choir master that you are singing,
yeah,
always leave the stage when the song is still good.
Niseme na Kikale.
Niseme na Kikale. Kimeto itien kwa nyinyi. Kimeto itien kwa nyinyi.
It's fine.
Kimeto itien kwa nyinyi.
Kimeto itien kwa nyinyi.
Exactly, you have put it correctly.
So you, the choir master, akatoka na akasema staki pesa. Wow. All right, so I'm taking a short break. I'm going to be right back. But clearly, what was central, Oka Gwere, kuna kitu nataka tuongee kidogo. I'll be right back.